If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, holy yeah.
And now, here's your host of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry.
It doesn't matter what your name is. Really? Yeah!
Hello and welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside intern Lucas DeSangro and, of course, Nick Cataldi pushing the buttons.
How come I'm last?
Well, I'm saving the best for last.
Oh, okay.
You know how that goes.
Oh, yes.
Shouldn't that be me then?
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh,
You're here for 2 weeks and you're already
getting
cracking jokes and throwing lines and getting ribs in.
All right, man. You're all right.
The kid learns quick.
Good thing you haven't got a car, but that's okay.
What can you do? All right, we got a ton of stuff to talk about this week. Of course, we're a week away from SummerSlam. We've got some news and notes coming your way. We'll start off with a follow-up from last week. TNA President Dixie Carter announcing Kurt Angle entered a rehab facility on Monday following his DUI arrest 9 days ago. She put on Twitter, as a cherished member of the TNA family, we support his decision and wish him strength through this difficult, important recovery process. The TNA family is very supportive of the steps Kurt is taking in his recovery. Please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Meanwhile, former TNA wrestler Matt Morgan was among those expressing support for Angle. He put on his Twitter, I ask all of you, instead of mocking or judging Kurt Angle at this time, to please support and pray for him as he heads down what I can vouch for will be one of the mentally toughest paths a human being can endure. He went on to say, after 7 years of sobriety, and he puts in parentheses, pills, myself, I can say it's easily my proudest achievement, but I did so from a strong supporting cast here, and your fans' support goes way further than you realize. Kick this thing's ass, Kurt, he goes on to say. So, yeah, only good things we can hope for as far as a recovery from the drinking issues that have befallen Kurt Angle.
There really is nothing you can do but pray for this guy right now.
Absolutely. And it still leads to the question, what's going to happen this Thursday on Impact, as Kurt Angle, at least initially, was supposed to be part of the 10-man tag, Aces and Eights, against the Main Event Mafia. The person who loses the fall for his team is banned from TNA. So I guess is this now a 5-on-4 handicap match? I guess we'll have to tune in this Thursday to the special Hardcore Justice edition of Impact to find out. They have 3 other matches announced for this coming Thursday. Mickie James and Gail Kim in a Knockouts tag match against Velvet Sky and ODB. That is also a Tornado tag match, so all 4 women will be in the ring at the same time. You've got a 4-way ladder match for 20 Bound for Glory series points, and I'll get into those series standings in a little bit. Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Austin Aries, and Kazarian. And all 4 of those guys could certainly use it. If Jeff Hardy ends up winning it, he'll actually take the lead. Same thing for AJ Styles. And Austin Aries, he'd barely squeak in the lead as well. So there's a lot at stake in Kazarian. He needs the win just to get back into it, as he's trailing considerably. But I'll have those full totals for you coming up a little bit later this hour. But let's switch over to WWE and Monday Night Raw. We'll lead off with the clip here of Stephanie McMahon. She introduced a corporate makeover for Daniel Bryan, and he came out and, well, he had a few things to say about it, as well as the crowd reaction to it.
You guys really like it that much, right? You guys don't like it? That's strange. I just really like to thank Stephanie McMahon for all the time and effort and everything that she put into all of this, right? But it's funny because I don't think this is what the company actually wants. It seems to me what the company actually wants is somebody who's jacked up. Somebody who wears cargo shorts maybe and a bright yellow t-shirt. Somebody who can sell everybody here a bunch of stuff that you guys don't actually need. Who could that be? Who could somebody like that be? It seems to me like they want somebody like John Cena. Now, I respect John Cena. He picked me as his opponent for SummerSlam because he thinks that I am the best contender. But quite frankly, he doesn't think that I can beat him. And why would I? Why would he think that I could beat him? He's a superstar. He's in movies. He's on the box of cereals. I mean, come on. And look at me. Just look at me. I'm 5'8". I got this scraggly beard. I'm from the middle of nowhere in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, how could somebody as lowly as me beat a superstar like John Cena, who's been king of the mountain for the last 10 years? I'll tell you why. Because John Cena is an entertainer and Daniel Bryan is a wrestler. You see, while he's been up here for the last 10 years in these sold-out arenas, he hasn't seen the holes that I've dragged myself out of. He hasn't seen the mud that I've crawled out of because I am a wrestler. And here's the funny thing that he doesn't like to admit. If John Cena gets fired tomorrow, he goes back to his mansion. He goes back to his 20 cars. He goes back to his multi-million-dollar lifestyle, and he will never wrestle again. If I get fired tomorrow, and I just might, it's happened before. If I get fired tomorrow, you will see me in every armory, every gymnasium, every little dirt box that's filled with 30 people and a wrestling ring because I love wrestling. That's funny. It kind of seems to me like you people love wrestling too. So here's the deal. I'll dress up in this suit for now. I'll comb my hair back for now. I will do what they want for now. Because at SummerSlam, I'm going to do what everyone here wants me to do. And I am going to make John Cena tap out.
And yes, that's where things should have ended, but next thing you know, you hear no chance in hell, and out struts Vince McMahon out to ringside, and he wants to shave Daniel Bryan's beard. It just gets awful from there. Yes, Nick.
He won't shave my beard, does he?
I could put in a word if you really...
How come these guys all scream the same? Is there a wrestling scream school?
You know, that might be one of the wings of the new developmental territory down in Florida that WWE
They all
just
sound the
opened.
same to me after a while. I'm not kidding. I don't mean to be a wise guy.
They keep
Can you believe that?
For once, you don't mean to be.
No,
okay.
I don't mean to be. I'm asking a serious question.
This is a legit question. As you snicker, yes. No, I don't know. I think it comes from. I think people. I don't know. Do you want me to look at it from like an actor or thespian type approach, or? I mean, I think that usually.
What are you saying about wrestling? There's acting.
Yes.
You.
And in a lot of cases, not that good.
Sooner or later, if they keep screaming like that, they're going to sound like a middle-aged chain smoker from,
Yes.
hi, hot stuff, how
What
you
he
doing?
said.
Reminds me of Juno from Beetlejuice.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt.
But no, I think that to honestly answer your question, I think that to convey the intensity that a lot of the wrestlers have, they have to do so, or at least they feel they have to do so, through screaming.
Bruno didn't do it that way. He was a gentleman.
Well, things kind of changed when the territories disappeared and things became more globally televised starting in the 80s once Vince McMahon kind of put all the territories out of business and made it more of the, as a lot of people put it, the cartoon-like circus that the World Wrestling Federation became in the 1980s and beyond.
Yes.
So I think that's where a lot of that came from. I bet you saw the same thing in Jim Crockett promotions down in the South. I'm sure, Dusty certainly had his way of going about doing things. He wasn't always a screamer.
Not everybody screamed is what I mean.
Oh, yeah, not everybody.
But nowadays everybody screams, and they all sound the same.
Well, it also depends on what they're saying, too.
Elemental school, you know what I mean?
Some things stand out more than others, but enough about Booker T from Spring Stampede 1997. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you. Never mind.
Pretty good.
Stay out of trouble. At least for now. There we go. Best way to get out of trouble? Let's go to the phones. I can't believe I'm saying this. Ed from the Northeast. Save me here. Ed, what's going on?
There's a doubleheader tonight in Voorhees. There's CCW and USW at this Florida skate zone.
A wrestling doubleheader. That's
starting at 4
minimally
p.m.
chartered territory. Should be interesting.
ROH is coming back to the city in September.
Okay, nice little homecoming for them.
I'm going to check that out. See if there's any good matchups.
Well, there's still a little bit of time. September's, about 3-4 weeks away, depending on what day in September. You're talking 5, 6, 7 weeks away. So I'll have to look that up, see if I can get a little more detail on it. But I know Ring of Honor's kind of finding its way a little bit. I know they have the title tournament going on, which the one wrestler got pretty severely injured from a pile driver in. Whitmere, I think it was.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, a wrestler that was injured recently in Ring of Honor from a pile driver.
I don't know.
It was worth a shot.
Yeah, and Impact might be coming back to the city too. They have 2 local dates in Bethlehem and Delaware.
All right. Well, those should be a couple of rather noteworthy things coming up, and we always appreciate the information brought to you courtesy of Ed from the Northeast, Ed the Showstopper. Always appreciated. Thanks so much for the call. Yes, but where was I going with that? That's right. Vince McMahon got us off on this tangent here. That's generally what he tends to do. But a little bit later in the show, we will have the rebuttal from John Cena, and he actually picked up on a couple of points that were made during that promo by Daniel Bryan. So we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's also talk a little bit of SmackDown. We almost had a Money in the Bank cash in last night on SmackDown.
What happened was Christian and Alberto Del Rio got into a big matchup, and Christian took down Del Rio, and Sandow comes out and tries to cash in Money in the Bank. What happens then is Cody Rhodes comes out, gets Sandow on the crossroads, and that's the end of that. That
quashed the potential cash-in following the main event match on SmackDown last night, which I know I missed because I was trying to get some semblance of sleep to be in here today. Needless to say, it didn't work out so well. But Christian and Alberto Del Rio in a non-title match, kind of a preview of SummerSlam. We've also got the rest of the card coming up for you on the other side. All right, we'll go back to the phones in a minute here, but we'll go back to the phones in a little bit here. Let's take care of our first bit of business, and we'll come back here and get things all squared away. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB, as well as online at WBCB1490.com.